Hi there. Welcome to Let's Get Physical. My name is Brenda Zechmeister. I'm one of the yoga instructors with this health and wellness initiative of Price Hill Will in Cincinnati, Ohio. And during this time of being quarantined, we have been providing these classes for free online so that we can continue to make them available. And today I almost didn't come. Sometimes a rainy day just makes me feel kind of blue, and I thought about it, and I thought, I'm just going to share where I am right now, because a lot of other people might be feeling the same way. Overall, during this quarantine, I've been feeling pretty peaceful. I've been experiencing a lot of time to relax and not have to run around so much. And so I'm very blessed with that, and just feeling very grateful that I can just take some time and rest. And I certainly enjoy teaching yoga. And so that's about the only thing I've been doing is teaching yoga at these times, and I try to get out for a walk every day. Today I wasn't able to get out for a walk. Well, I guess I could have, but chose not to go out for a walk in the rain. I just staying in and feeling a little bit lethargic and kind of blue. And I just wanted to share with you some of the practices that go along with yoga that can help to shift our ways of thinking, because that is part of yoga. And I think I'll start out, actually I was going to start out with a reading, and I'm going to change my mind and do the other reading first, just because of where my conversation with myself was leading. This is a book that we read in yoga teacher training called The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And I'll bring it closer so that you can perhaps see the cover of it, and trying not to have the light glare on it, by Swami Satchidananda. And basically, Yoga Sutras, sutra means thread. And so no one knows how long ago these Yoga Sutras were written, but a long time ago. And there's a lot of words of wisdom in these Yoga Sutras. And I have a half-hour recording by Swami Satchidananda, and I am going to copy and paste that in a link on the Let's Get Physical page under this video, so that if you would like to give a listen to some of the sutras that he's sharing, they're just like little pearls of wisdom, and you can listen to them every day and still pick up something new. And so these threads are just some nice pieces of wisdom. And I'm going to read one of the first ones. This is Yoga Sutra 2. And in English, it is, the restraint of the modifications of the mind stuff is yoga. I'll read that again. The restraint of the modifications of the mind stuff, the stuff that goes on in our brain, is yoga. And what that's saying basically is that we have the power through our thoughts to change. We don't have the power, or actually I should say, we don't really have the ability to control what others say or do, but we do have the power to change what we say and do. And so I'm just going to read some of the highlights from that Yoga Sutra, because this gives the goal of yoga. If the restraint of the mental modifications is achieved, one has reached the goal of yoga. It goes on to say, the modifications of the mind stuff disturb our peace. And so by practicing yoga and meditation, we can bring that mind back to peace. The entire world is our own projection. Our values may change within a fraction of a second. As the mind, so the man. Bondage or liberation are in your own mind. So we can imprison ourselves just by the things in our mind. And so my experience in quarantine has been one generally of peace. And other people's experience with quarantine has felt like a self-prison, and they have been not at peace. And if I could just share just one thing during this quarantine, it is just this, of how we can use our mind to change our thoughts, to change our experience, to change the world around us as we see it. The entire world is our own projection. As the mind, so the man. Bondage or liberation are in your own mind. So if you can have control over the thought forms and change them as you want, you are not bound by the outside world. There's nothing wrong with the world. You can make it a heaven or a hell according to your approach. And I think that is what our teacher Jesus also taught, to be in the world but not of it. It's how we think, how we perceive things, our perceptions, our projections of how we see the world. So that is one of my little teachings for today. I thought I would share that, and then do a little stretching and do some meditation at the end as our yoga practice for today. And so it may be a little bit shortened for today. So go ahead and you can either be seated on the floor or seated in a chair for this practice, at least to begin. So let's just start and find a comfortable place. Sit up tall so that you can breathe freely. Draw your shoulders back and close your eyes. Feel your sit bones making connection with the earth. Yesterday was Earth Day, and tomorrow is Arbor Day. And during this time of spring, I think it's really important to feel that connection with the earth, particularly during this quarantine. And maybe everything else in our lives has slowed down enough that we can take time to smell the roses, that we can take time to enjoy the beauty of spring that is all around us, that life force that is growing. What once seemed dead in our winter time is becoming green, and all different kinds of colors and smells. And so take time as you can to get in touch with that. And so right now we just imagine it, feeling the connection through our sit bones, going down as if roots down into the ground. And then lengthen your spine so that you create space in between each vertebrae. And by drawing the shoulders back, we open up the heart. And tune into your breath. Slow your breath down to nice, even breaths. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, breathe out. And continue this nice, even breath. Scan your body. Notice if there's anywhere that you're holding any tension. And using the breath,
Send the breath into those areas. Feel them open up and gently release any tightness that you might be feeling there, any soreness. This is our time to relax. All we need to do right in this very moment is breathe. So let go of anything else. Remember the control of our mind. We hold on to thoughts that take away that peace. So just let go of any thoughts that take you away from peace. Just focus on your breath. And so I invite you to take a moment to choose a mantra for your practice. Just finding a word or a phrase that you would like to hold in your mind. Usually I say something like let go, be still, and feel free to use those if that works for you today. But if you would like to maybe branch out a little bit and choose a different word like joy or peace, whatever works for you, this is your mantra for your practice. Breathe into it. Just allow your body to relax in the stillness. As I mentioned, this practice is going to be a little bit more meditative today. On your next exhale, relax your chin down to your chest and let go of any tightness that you feel through the back of your neck. Relax your shoulders and continue your breath. Continue remembering your mantra. From here, bring your hands down to either the sides of the chair or the sides of your hips down on the floor. And as you inhale, gently roll the head over to one side. And allow that head to be heavy and your ear to feel like it's coming closer to that shoulder. Don't bring the shoulder up, just keep that shoulder relaxed. You're going to feel a nice stretch on the opposite side of your neck. And then as you exhale, bring your chin back to center. And on your next breath, roll the head over to the other side. And feel like your ear is dropping down closer to the other shoulder. Breathing here. And then as you exhale, bring your chin back to center. We're going to interlace the fingers in front of you. And then stretch your arms out, keeping your chin tucked in, and bring your palms face out. And then with your chin tucked in, round your back and stretch those arms out. Take a few deep breaths, breathing into that space in between the shoulder blades. Feel the release of any tightness that you might be holding there. And then as you breathe in, straighten your spine, bring your arms up overhead and turn the palms to face the top of your head. From there, bring your pointer fingers out and reach up even taller, breathing into your stretch. And as you exhale, lean to one side. And feel the ribcage expand with each breath. Again, we're continuing to feel that connection with the ground or the chair, but reaching up towards the ceiling. And if we were outside, we'd be reaching up towards the sky. As you breathe in again, come back to center. And as you exhale, lean to the other side. Again, breathing so that the rib cage expands with each breath. You want to be really open here. We're letting go of any tightness, any constrictions. And then as you breathe in, bring your body back to center. And exhale, relax your arms down at your sides. And so place your hands on your lap just for a moment. Because this is a meditative practice today, I want to check in frequently. So scan your body. Notice how it feels, if you're beginning to feel more aliveness through the body. That's our life force. In yoga, we call it prana. We have also heard it referred to as chi. Just feeling that sense of aliveness. In this quarantine time, in our time of stillness, we can experience that sense of aliveness without the numbing of our brains and the routine of our work. We can be more in touch with a different kind of reality, a reality that is within. Perhaps getting in touch with Spirit, God, higher power, however you see that in your life. Experiencing that on a more personal, intimate level. So from here, I'm going to sit sideways. We're going to bring our hands behind the back. You can stay right where you are, or you might want to sit sideways if you're in a chair, because then you won't have the back of the chair in the way. I want to interlace the fingers right down by the sacrum, and you want to bring the arms long, so stretch those arms so that your hands go down towards your seat, and you bring the shoulders back, again opening up the heart. And let's just take a few breaths there to really breathe into the heart space. Breathing in with each breath, feel like you're breathing in compassion. Compassion for yourself. Oftentimes we are so hard on ourselves, judging ourselves, berating ourselves. And we really need to be more compassionate with ourselves. How can we be compassionate with others if we're not compassionate with ourselves? So breathe into that heart space. And then from there, bring your arms away from the body and squeeze those shoulder blades together. And you can either stay here, or if you wish, you can kind of protrude the chest out a little bit and tilt the head back. Be very mindful of your neck. Just getting a little bit of a back bend here. Breathing. Remember your mantra. And then as you exhale, go ahead and bring everything back to neutral. Another way that we can do a back bend is placing the hands on the backs of our hips on either side of our sacrum. Taking a breath here, bring the shoulders back, and again, extending the chest out. Just tilt the head back a little bit. We're not doing a full back bend here. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, bend back a little bit further. If it feels good, and if it does, and you want to do another one, take another breath in, and as you exhale, bend back even further. And then as you breathe in again, gently bring everything back to neutral. And so we'll come back to facing forward. And so for this next one, let's go ahead and stand up. It's a moon salutation. I think the new moon was yesterday, but I did not look that up, but I thought I heard someone say that. But If it is, then this is in honor of the moon. So I'm doing a moon salutation as opposed to a sun salutation because it's a little bit slower. Today the energy just feels slower for me because I think of the rain, just a nice gentle rain, and so it feels stiller. The sun isn't out, it's darker, and that moon energy is a slower, darker energy as opposed to the sun, which is a lighter and more energetic. So coming into mountain pose, again feeling that connection through the feet, bringing the feet close together, toes straight out. So you don't want your feet out like that. You want your toes facing straight ahead of you. And maybe rock back and forth until you feel evenly balanced on both the front and the back of each foot. Maybe raise your toes up, feel that balance, and then raise them back down. And then close your eyes for a moment. Relax the midsection of your body, your pelvic area. Feel your tailbone gently pulling down. And then imagine that you're drawing up energy from the earth. All that goodness that's beginning to spring forward. Begin to feel that new life coming in through the bottoms of your feet, all the way up your legs, coming up through your spine, and all the way out to the top of your head. Breathing into that. And then on your next inhale, with your palms face out, bring the arms up overhead, bringing the palms together. And as you exhale, lean to one side. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale to the other side. Inhale, come back to center, and then as you exhale, bring your arms straight out. From here, we're going to bring the feet out wider than the hips, but the toes are facing forward. As you inhale, bring your arms up at like a goal post, and you don't want your elbows sinking down. Really bring those arms up and draw the shoulders back, but let your shoulder blades kind of float down your back. And then from here, turn the toes out, and as you exhale, we're going to squat into a goddess pose, pressing down equally through the soles of both feet. Breathing here. And then as you inhale, come back up. Exhale, bring the arms straight out. I know my hands are off out of the picture. Your fingers are pointing out. As you breathe in again, bring one hand up and the other one down, looking up at that hand that's going up. And then exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale, do the other side. And then exhale, bring it back to center. From here, turn the palms upward, and as you breathe in, bring the palms back together and bring your feet back together. And we're going to do this again. Breathing in, this time it'll be more flowing. Exhale to one side, half moon. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bring your arms out at your sides and bring your feet wide, toes pointed out. Inhale, arms up to your goalpost. Exhale, come into goddess pose. Take another breath here. And then as you breathe in again, come back up. Exhale, the arms back out at your sides. Inhale, one arm up, the other one down, looking up. And then exhale, bring it back to center. This is star pose. Inhale to the other side, one arm up, the other one down. Exhale, bring it back to center. Turning the palms upward, let's inhale, bring them up overhead. Bring the feet back together in one more set of half moons. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale to the opposite. Inhale, come back to center. exhale, keep your hands, palms together, prayer pose, to your heart center. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders. Feel that groundedness connecting with Mother Earth in honor of Earth Day from yesterday. Again, feeling that aliveness. Remember your intention, your mantra that you set. This is a more meditative practice. If you joined in late, we're just doing some gentle stretches, and we will be ending with a meditation. Take one more breath, and as you exhale, go ahead and relax your arms, and let's come back to a seated pose. So I am in a chair. Feel free to be on the floor if you would like, or be on a chair. So I'm going to do some hip openers. So if you are sitting on the floor, you're going to sit cross-legged, and we're going to do what we call around the world. And if you're sitting in a chair, go ahead and bring your feet out wide. I have my toes facing outward, and the hands are resting on my legs. And so again, around the world, in honor of Earth Day, I'm thinking of all these earth-centered yoga poses that I can do, which is really easy because a lot of yoga poses are named after things we find in nature. So take a breath in, and as you exhale, hinge forward and relax your body. Go ahead and relax your head, just allowing it to be heavy, relaxing through the back of your neck into your upper back, all the way down into your lower back and your hips. And then on an inhale, we're going to make a half circle coming around to the back. So breathing in, coming around to the back. And as you exhale, complete your circle, coming back to the point where you started. And continue making these circles. And so your circle may be like further up, like little circles, or they might be further down. Or maybe you start out with little circles, and as you loosen up, your circles get bigger. So wherever you are today, just know that that is the right and perfect place to be. Focus on the hip area. Feel that beginning to loosen up, making that connection with the circle and the breath, the circle of life. Let's bring it back to where we started. Pausing there for a moment, checking in with the body. And then on your next breath, we're going to go in the other direction. So breathing in halfway, breathing out the other half. Let's go around the world 2 more times. Since we're in quarantine, we can't go very far, but we can pretend, right, that we're going all around the world. Let's bring it back to the point where we started. Again, check in with your body, bringing that mindfulness. Another goal of yoga is making the connection between mind and body. So checking in, noticing how the body feels. And then as you breathe in, bring your body back upright. And let's do a little twist. So if you are seated on the floor, what you can do is bring one leg over the other with, one leg can be stretched out and the other foot bent. Here, seated in the chair, we are just going to be sitting cross-legged. And we're going to put, so if your right leg is over your left, take the left hand. So your opposite hand goes on the outside of that thigh. You want to sit up nice and tall, and as you inhale, bring that arm up. And as you exhale, bring it behind you. If you're on the floor, your hand is resting on the floor. If you're in a chair, your arm is just kind of draped over the back of the chair. So breathing in, lengthening through your spine. And breathing out, looking maybe just a little bit deeper over your shoulder. And then as you breathe in again, bring your gaze forward. And exhale, we'll release everything. And let's bring the other leg over. Opposite hand on the outside of that thigh, sit up tall. Inhale that arm up. And as you exhale, bring it behind you. Again, each breath will lengthen your spine. And as you breathe out, you can look a little bit deeper. And then on your next breath, bring your gaze forward. And then exhaling, we'll release. And then for a hip opener, if you are on the ground, go ahead and lay down and have your knees bent and bring, wherever you are, we're going to bring, let's bring the right ankle to rest on the left thigh, right below the knee. Take your right hand and place it on the inside of your left thigh and just gently kind of open it up a little bit, open up that hip. I am just kind of doing a little bounce, very gentle. I'm not forcing anything. We never want to force anything with yoga. You should never feel any pain. We're just trying to loosen up any tightness that we might have in the hip. And if this feels good and this is just where you would like to stay for your hip opener, feel free to do so. If you are on the ground, you're going to thread that arm through the opening between the legs and reach behind your other thigh, and then bring the legs in closer to your body. So your hands are clasped behind your left thigh, and you're going to bring those knees in. Sitting on the chair, we're just simply going to lean forward. Relax through your right hip, wherever you are. And remember the mantra that we started out with. Breathing into that. Send the breath to wherever you feel tight around that right hip area. I notice that sometimes I might feel relaxed, but then when I really check in with the body, I notice that I'm holding tightness in certain areas. And so just scan the body and notice that. If you're sitting in your chair, you might particularly notice the shoulders even. And even laying down, you want to have your shoulders be relaxed. Notice your face, your jaw. Are you clenching your jaw? Just let it relax. Perhaps as you relax, you can increase the intensity of your stretch by flexing the foot. If you're laying on the ground, you could flex both feet. You can draw the legs in closer, lying down on the ground, or you can bring your torso down closer to your legs if you're sitting in a chair. But just use the breath to help you move. Again, not forcing. Let's take a few more breaths here. And then on your next breath, if you're sitting in the chair, gently bring yourself up. If you're lying down, you can release your hold. And everybody just go ahead and put that foot on the ground. And let's sway our knees side to side. Maybe come to the edge of the chair if you're sitting in a chair, so that your sit bones are on the chair. And then bring everything back to the center. If you're sitting in a chair, go ahead and scoot back just a little bit. And so we'll do the other side. So the same thing, bringing your knee to rest. This time it's the left leg we're working with. your ankle is right below your knee on top of your right thigh. Take your left hand and place it on the inside of your left thigh. And again, just gently moving it so that you can loosen up any tightness that you might be feeling in the left hip area. I see that somebody new joined us right now. I can't see who it is. I can't see close enough. And then go ahead and relax. So if somebody's new, we're doing some gentle yoga stretches, and we're going to end with a meditation today. So it's a more reflective practice today. So if you're lying down, take the hand and put it through the opening between your legs and reach behind your right thigh for your right hand and interlace the fingers and draw those knees in closer to the body. If you're sitting in a chair, we're just simply going to lean forward. And this side is my tighter side. And sometimes I think it's just tighter so that I can share with other people that you might notice a difference between the two sides of your body. And so that's often the case. Perhaps we carry ourselves unevenly or sit unevenly. That makes it tighter on one side. I see that my chiropractor is watching, so give a shout out to my chiropractor, Dr. Brunner. Great chiropractor. Perhaps you want to see him once the quarantine is lifted. It really does help to release anything that might be kind of wonky. So again, we're using the breath here. If you want to get a little bit of intensity, you can flex your foot that is resting, at the left foot. If you're lying down on the ground, you can even flex both feet. And you can move the legs in closer to the body or the body closer to the legs, depending if you're sitting in a chair or lying on the ground. Remember your mantra and your breath, those nice even breaths, sending it to where it feels tight, and let it relax. On your next breath, gently bring yourself out of the pose. We're releasing the foot back down to the ground. Again, bring yourself to the edge of the chair. If you're sitting in a chair, and we'll sway our knees side to side. And then go ahead and bring them into the center, into the stillness. And let's scoot even further out on the edge of the chair. So now my sit bones are off of the chair, and keeping the knees centered, or I should say the feet centered on the ground. My feet are together. I'm just going to lean my feet all the way to my knees to the one side. If you're lying down on the ground, go ahead and bring your knees over to the one side, and then bring them back to center and bring them over to the other side. And kind of do this with your breath. So take a breath here in the center and then exhale the knees to the side. Inhale, bring them back to center, and exhale to the other side. Inhale, bring them back to center. So if you're sitting in a chair and would like to lay down on the ground for your savasana, you can go ahead and do that, joining whoever else is laying down on the ground. Or you can stay sitting in your chair. I will still direct from both locations, so to speak. So let's do a reclining twist if you're lying on the ground. If you're sitting in your chair, let's go ahead and scoot back a little bit and bring your arms to rest on the back of your chair. And so wherever you are, just bring your knees over to your feet, your knees over to one side. So sitting in a chair, it means walking your feet over to the one side of your chair. And then we're all going to look over that opposite shoulder. And just relax here. If you want to take the hand that's closest to your knees and place it on the outside of your thighs, you can do that. It might make it a little bit more relaxed through your hips. We're relaxing here. Let go with each breath. Anything else that you're holding on to, any tightness, any stress, just feel like you're wringing it all out through your twist. On your next breath, go ahead and bring everything back to the center. I'm going to move my props out of the way here. Okay, so we're going to now move our knees over to the other side, still having the arms behind the chair, sitting up tall if you're in the chair, and looking over the other shoulder. Again, if you want to use that hand that's in the same direction as the knees and place it on the outside of your thighs. So if your knees are going to the left, it's your left hand and on top of your right thigh, and vice versa. So remember your breath, the nice even breaths. Each breath breathing in gratitude for everything, whether we label it as good or bad. Remember in the beginning we talked about the stuff that we hold on to in our minds. As a man thinketh, right? So is our reality. So if we think it's bad, then our reality is bad. If we think it's good, then our reality is good. So it's just a matter of maybe shifting the lens, changing the lenses and seeing things from a little bit differently. So a twist can also be kind of a metaphor of that. Because our knees are going in one direction, but yet we're looking in another direction. So sometimes it's just shifting our gaze, shifting our mindset, switching the track to look at things differently. Choose the thoughts you wish to hold. Peace, love, joy. Focus on those. Let's take one more breath here. And as you breathe out, go ahead and bring everything once again back to center. If you're taking your Savasana in your chair, we're going to go ahead and be completely leaning back in the chair. If you're lying down on the ground, go ahead and stretch your legs out. And everybody, let's bring the arms up overhead. And even if you're in the chair, if you can, lift your legs out, point your toes, stretch out your fingers, and let's make ourselves as long as we can. Breathing in, stretching it all out. And then exhale, release it with a sigh. And be completely relaxed. If you'd like to do that again, feel free to stretch it out. Maybe take a couple more stretches. And I'm just going to take a moment here to check in to see who is watching so I can give a shout out. Hi, Patrick. William. Oh, you're so funny, William. Yes, you should keep going. Hi, Sheila. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
The beauty of these virtual classes is that we're in the privacy of our own homes. So we can really sigh out. If you want to stretch it out, and as you breathe out, just sigh it out. Feel free to let it all out. In classes, sometimes some people feel a little bit inhibited for the sounds that they make. And we don't have to worry about that in our virtual classes. So go ahead and get into a comfortable position, whether it's sitting in your chair. If you're sitting in your chair, you might just want to have your palms be face up. And if you're lying down on the floor, have your palms face up and your feet just kind of relaxed out to either side. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. If you want to put on socks, if you took your socks off, feel free to do so. Maybe get a blanket, pillows. And wherever you are, just scan your body. Notice if there's any tightness left anywhere in the body. And just let it go. Starting with the top of the head, feel everything completely relax all around your head, around your scalp and your forehead, down into your eyes, your cheeks, and your mouth. Feeling any lines in your face just softly dissolve. Relax your jaw and all the muscles in your neck. Feel your throat gently opening up a little bit. Allow the collarbones to open up a little bit. Releasing any tension from your shoulders. And I feel relaxed all the way down your arms, past your elbows, past the wrists, down into your hands, fingers, and thumbs. Begin to feel your body sinking deeper into the earth. Earlier we were talking about Earth Day. And so dissolve your body into the earth, feeling it one with all of creation. Let your body totally relax. Relax all the muscles in your back, down into your hips. Relax across your chest, into your belly, and that space in between the hips. And then down into your legs, letting go of any tightness in your thighs, softening through your knees and relaxing the lower legs, your calf muscles. And then finally out through your ankles and your feet, relaxing all around the tops of your feet and your toes and the bottoms of the feet and the heels. And we'll just feel completely relaxed. And so I'm going to do a little reading about joy. This is from a book by, I'm not sure how to say her name, Pema Chodron, Awakening Loving Kindness. She's talking about a 7-day silent retreat about awakening joy. And in this retreat, she learned that each of us has in our heart a joy that's accessible to us. By connecting to it and letting it flower, we allow ourselves to celebrate our practice and our lives. Joy is like a soft spring rain that allows us to lighten up, to enjoy ourselves, and therefore it's a whole new way of looking at our lives. So remembering what I said earlier about shifting our thoughts. So choosing joy. And so let's remain relaxed in the silence for a moment. Gently bring your awareness back into your space. Wiggle your toes, your fingers. Maybe rotate your wrists in circles, your feet in circles. And if you're lying down, bring your knees into your chest to give yourself a hug. If you're sitting in a chair, maybe just wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself a hug. We talked earlier in one of our poses about breathing into compassion. And so one way to bring joy and compassion into our lives is just hugging ourselves. Some of us may be in quarantine by ourselves, and so we don't have the luxury of having somebody hug us right now. So we can give ourselves a hug. So feel that loving kindness through the hug. If you're lying down, go ahead and roll to one side, and wherever you are, let's just take another moment to relax and bring into our awareness the energy that's moving through our bodies. I had mentioned about prana, that life force energy. Does it feel like it's flowing a little bit more freely now since we did a little bit of gentle stretching? So just relax into that and enjoy that prana, that life force that flows through each one of us. Breathing into that, just take a moment to meditate on our prana. Focusing on the breath, our prana. And so if you're lying down, go ahead and use your hands to gently bring yourself back up, coming back to a seated position. And I would invite you, as we go through, until we meet again through our virtual classes, to just take time as you go throughout your day to maybe close your eyes and focus on your breath, doing what I call mini medis, mini meditation. By just taking that moment to breathe and feel that life force moving through your body, you can move into the next moment with a more relaxed state of being, a better sense of well-being, bringing that into the body, just by simply focusing on the breath. And so let's close our practice this afternoon with one Om. So you can either bring your hands to prayer or bring your forefinger and your thumb together and rest your palms, your backs of your hands on your lap. Sitting up tall, let your breath go. Together we'll take a cleansing breath in and breathe out. And then take another deep breath to Om. And if your palms are not together at your heart center, go ahead and do so. And know that the light in me sees and honors the light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here on our virtual class. These classes are a part of the Let's Get Physical series that is presented by Price Hill Will. My name is Brenda Zechmeister. I am one of the yoga teachers. Our next yoga class will be Sunday morning at 9 a.m. taught by Stacy. And I will be back on Monday at 5. So I'm going to take another closer look at my screen here to see if anybody else joined us. I don't think so. I don't see anybody else. So you make it a good couple of days until we see each other online again. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out online. If there's anything else that you would like to see in these yoga classes, again, feel free to reach out. And if you would like to make a donation, there is a link that I've put in the description of this class. It's an IOB platform. It's a fundraising platform that we've been using, and all the funds go to help support these classes. So again, thank you for your time and have a great day. Bye-bye.